Hi, friends. I promised we would do it. So we are going to be playing a Tome game. A wonderfully food-themed one. Give our friends some time to get in. Make sure our scene is correct. Oh. Sorry about that. I thought I had it all good. Ah. That should catch it. Oh. Have a little moment of checking out the prequel music. And then we will jump into chapter 1. There's our boy. I'm so excited for the food. Welcome in, Blue Shirt. We're gonna play Cafe Enchante tonight. I have the package here, and we're gonna read the back. Brew up some magic when you inherit your grandfather's Tokyo cafe. You discover it's full of unimaginable secrets. Prepare for chaos and handsome beings from different worlds. Step through a magical portal into your cafe. When the government agent shows up at your door, your life is about to become a lot more colorful. And I did manage to get the day 1 release that came with the little art cards about everybody. So we have a little thing to read if we need to go back over it. Kotone is the main character. We will be changing her name to Deli for fun. Because, you know, Spot and Deli, here we are. I guess we should get started. It's gonna yell at us and play the music again, so let's have fun. We have a new customer, we have regular, we have daily specials and special orders. I want to read everything. Text speed should be fine. Yeah, we're good. Ooh, oh, we have to earn it. We'll have to earn them all. Can we do it? Welcome in, everyone. Happy end to 2025. Let's start! So we're going to change our name to Deli. And actually, the little cards that came with the first day edition look exactly like this. Here we go. Oh, we didn't turn on our captions. Let me do that. Sorry about that. I had it open. And they are now on. They were filled with... Oops. I'll just be quiet then. Most of those memories sunk into the depths of my mind as I entered adulthood. Sorry, we missed the first second. Even so, faint memories come to the front of my mind, but sometimes I close my eyes in silence. The enchanting sounds of jazz standards and old records ushering in the guests. The sharp, flavorful scent of coffee floating gently through the cafe. The warm, inviting light of the chandeliers glimmering upon rows of glasses. Yes, my memories of that place are precious to me, but there is a memory of something much greater etched into my heart. It's the sound of my grandfather laughing together with the guests he served. We'd open it for the people. This cafe is for the patrons. All the colors coming back. That's gorgeous. Cup of coffee brewed for yourself is lovely, but one brewed by someone else is magical. I hope you come back soon. This place looks lovely. Let's check it out. So they show us something sweet, and then they're going to rip our heart out. We know that, right? I hope you guys are okay with me not reading all the voices with the bronchitis, but I'll do my best to cover our parts. Phew! I feel like I've been lost so long, but I finally made it. We'll take our gaze away from the map in my hands and look across the familiar landscape. Cafe Enchante, a name I hadn't heard in a while. It's been maybe 15 years now. Hearing myself say these words out loud makes me realize how long it's been. Even if the world around it has changed, as all the years have passed by, it looks exactly how I've always remembered it. I felt so happy at that fact for some reason. So much that it makes me smile. 15 years. Yep, I did a good job getting here if I do say so myself. If I do say so myself. Although, I was completely reliant on this map app. I put my phone away and exchanged it for the piece of paper and key in my bag. What brought me here is a letter from my beloved grandfather and the key to this cafe. Oh, that one's hard. I don't know if I can do silence. Got y'all. I'm back, Grandpa. I'll be in your care now. I quietly greet the small, simple key, and carefully I open the door to this familiar place. Oh, wow! The space that appeared before me was the one within the fog of my mind. The faded scenes, tucked in my memories, regained their color and their strength. I take a few steps forward, noticing a layer of dust draped all over. It had been left alone for so long. Still, a dim fragrance of coffee lingers in the air about the room. I find comfort in that. No doubt about it. This is definitely Grandpa's shop. The wooden furnishings from back then radiate the comforting feeling of nature. My fingers glide upon the tables and chairs, neatly and evenly laid out about the space, and that sense of familiarity fills me again. The cups polished to shine, the colorful saucers that matched them, and the hand-operated coffee mills and siphons lined up behind the counter. Now this also has a dictionary. If we need it, we have it. Coffee mill crushes coffee beans for brewing. Siphon, little flask attached together, makes coffee brewing, uses steam. They like the app. People like what it looks like, but it is hard to work. They stand there still holding their shine. They were always cared for so well. Now that I'm here, I should take a look around the whole shop. This is where Grandpa yelled at me, huh? It was the pillar that I tried to climb as a kid. And their stairs were difficult to walk up with all the tall steps. And the hallway floor where I would struggle to clean the drawings that I made up on it. Looking around conjures up all sorts of old memories. I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like I got yelled at. Oh, whole lot. Sorry, friends. The next thing I looked at was a storehouse that held a bunch of things. It didn't seem dirty to me, though it'd be a lot of physical work to clean it all up. Right. I guess it was all left alone after he passed. I'll have to look through everything to know what it was all used for. I can't do anything right now, though, huh? That's a beautiful kitchen. Behind the counter seating is a large kitchen. Oh, wow, I've never noticed the kitchen before. A faded memory of my grandpa making a quick meal comes to mind. I think at the time he was making a sandwich. Of course, he was happy and smiling. I floated through the kitchen, making my way to the back of the Enchante. Though it wasn't much, there were the remains of what used to be a vegetable garden. In a corner, there was a small flower bed, and the colorful vegetables and the pretty flowers decorating the area always looked so impressive. That's right, I remember crying here too. My face grew flushed from the memories of me throwing a fist, wanting to water the flowers, and rolling around crying all over it. Being back here just opened up a floodgate of memories, one after the other. I continued touring the first floor, as if to search for the moments that I'd forgotten, and then I muttered again. I'm back, Grandpa. Away from Tokyo, the capital of Japan, far from the city's center, sitting in an alley after a 5-minute walk, is the privately owned Cafe Enchante. The person who owned this shop was none other than my late grandfather, Sawinowaki. Oh, welcome in! Thank you for the lurk! Hi, I'm sorry about the spoils. We are going after the Headless Fairy Boy, and that is all I shall say. So if you are not after that character, hopefully I don't spoil anything for you. Welcome in, friends. If you're new here, I'm Delicious D&D, where we do food-themed games and fun and adventures to feast on. Have a wonderful one, and thank you for the lurk. Oh no, you might want to mute then, because I can't resist him. He's just too cute, according to this little character card. Brings back memories. The amount of nostalgia I feel feels endless. Until I was about 4, my parents were too busy, and I had lived here, at the Cafe Enchante with Grandpa. My parents decided to settle down in the country. Grandpa continued to watch after the cafe. That was probably why I thought it would still be his forever. I never once imagined that I'd be the one coming to continue running the shop. Enchante was a cafe, but it was also a place that Grandpa called home. The building was surprisingly large. The drafty second and third floors were living spaces, as only the first floor was the cafe. With the counter seats facing the bar and the cozy tables seating around the shop, there was a total of about 20 seats here. The menu board seemed to have just some basic drip coffee available. Let's talk about drip coffee. A type of brewed coffee where the beans are placed in a filter and hot water is poured in to brew it, the standard brewing technique. The types of beans were written, but it was promoted patrons to choose their brew, so you had to see it as you chatted. Grandpa thought it was too much of a pain to decide what to brew himself, so he'd make the customer decide. Though I think it was really popular to be able to choose your own method, from the nail drip to the siphon, and watch the process. Another type of making coffee with a cloth filter. That's right. Just then, from the corner of my eye, I see curtains hung from behind the stairs and move towards them. I thought I had walked through all of the first floor already. What's behind these curtains? Looking from the garden, there should be another room behind the curtains. I go through them, deep in thought. I knew it. Although... what was this room for? I tilt my head and wonder at this room, hidden so far in the back. It just doesn't match what I remember. Still, if it's possible, I will be taking over this place, so I should have an understanding of the interior of the shop. So... Hello? Attempting to figure out what last the room was for, I opened the doors. Something came into my vision immediately. It was an ostentatiously adorned door that didn't quite match the rest of the cafe. Come to think of it, wait, is this room just for this door? Right, aside from the ornate door, there was nothing else in here. Even though there was no space for it, like the storehouse, nothing was kept there. Nothing stored, no extra furniture, just a door. It just sits there. Why is there a door here? I took a peek behind it, but sure enough, there was nothing there. Just the rest of the room. It doesn't open either. I hadn't the slightest clue as to what it was doing here. Just an old door. I have no idea when it might have been built. Even though there's no doubt it was old, its frame seemed strangely free of blemishes. Gazing at the doorbell hung at the top, I tilted my head and wondered yet again. Maybe Grandpa bought it thinking he'd use it to replace another door? He always liked antiques and old things. That's the only reason I can think of why it would be here. It's normal for anyone to really have just a door in here. Is it? The plate reads open and closed on it, which must have been an intended use for an entrance. Of this type of plate is the one on the door. And we're going to continue doing that anyway. I imagined my free-spirited and showy grandpa going through the effort and smile, just wryly to myself. But now that he's gone, I'll never know what the intended use for this door was. I have to take over, or the Enchante won't be in business anymore. I reach out to the plate marked closed. Grandpa must have turned it over before he passed. This lonely-looking plate that would turn people away, knowing the cafe would never open again. Do we want to keep it closed or turn it to open, everybody? Welcome in to Delicious D&D. It says there's more of you here. I'm so happy to have you join us. I'm sorry about my voice. I'm getting over bronchitis, but I'm happy to be playing with you today. We do also have an incoming ad break. Oh no. Should we keep it closed or switch it to open? Sorry about that. Whew. What's the point in keeping it closed if we're going to run it, right? Let's open it. Let's turn it. Oh. I pushed the wrong button. I acted on a whim. The store led nowhere. It stood in the middle of a shop that had lost its owner. The sign was the writing, writhing in boredom, proclaiming the store's closed status. It seemed strange for me to even feel this, but it looked lonely. Let's switch it. Switch it! We're open for business! Yay! My feelings guide me, and I turn over the plate till the letters written on it jump into my sight. And in that moment, the world changed. The doorbell rang, announcing a customer. The light spilling from the doors blinded me, and the first thing I felt was a warmth that enveloped my entire body. A sweet embrace, as if holding something precious and delicate. Those glimmering eyes, they were looking straight at me. Where did he come from? Who is he? Most importantly, I was wondering why I was being held all of a sudden. With the questions spinning in my head, I take a breath. Yeah. You're a little too close. Do you mind taking a step back, please? Yep, that would be the reaction. I mustered up all my strength to say anything I could and escaped from his arms as quickly backed away against the wall, putting myself on guard, clutching my phone. Even though the words held a certain intent, it seemed like he was laughing in a grin, enjoying this moment. I can't trust you at all. Who in the world even are you? You must be a criminal. You're right. Completely ready to call the police, I glare at this man. I don't want that. I was trying to do my best to intimidate him, but after seeing that it was very, very apparent that he was smiling. His features were beautiful. His shade eyes, his unique hair. He had horns! This was an emergency, but his face gave me the impression that he had things under control. But that aside, that embrace just now was practically assault. Wait, what? Are those really horns growing beside your ears? No! I'm fine. I don't want to do that. He closes the distance between us, and I circle around him to get even further away. Now that I look at him more closely, actually I don't need to look more closely. It wasn't the features. His outfit also seemed very unique. It was a loose robe adorned with the colors of black and purple. They were clothes not worn by anyone other than a wizard from a fantasy world. Are your clothes a cosplay for some kind of wizard character? Okay, for those who are new, a cosplay is dressing up or acting as a fictional character. Extraordinary love for that character is a requirement. Yeah. What? You know my grandpa? That's right. An acquaintance of Grandpa's. If that's true, I suppose it would put me at ease, at least for a little bit. Still, even if that's true, where did you come from? It seems like you came through these doors, but I was alone when I was in here earlier. I pointed my finger at the door. Was he behind the door? Although it's hard to believe he was hiding from my sight the entire time. And until I arrived today, this shop had been closed since Grandpa passed away. Considering that anyone other than myself being in here is just strange. What he glanced suggestively at, was it the same thing I pointed to? The door. Suddenly, the horned man stopped speaking, and I felt a disturbance. What? An earthquake? The tremors get more and more intense. I thought that the Enchante itself would be in trouble until... Barrier? A town blown away? Wait, what? Okay, in this sense, originating from Buddhism in this game, it refers to a magical effect used for defense and isolation of existences. Barrier. Unable to even reply with a flick of his finger. For some reason, I felt my body immediately be pulled backwards. I fell to the ground from the sudden force. And in the next instant, what happened before me surprised me even more. Oh goodness, here we go. Wait, this wild-looking man had flames spilling out from his entire body. And this man had clean features on his face and wings growing out of his back. And this man looked like a knight, clad in black armor like he was from the Middle Ages. I look at these four suspicious men before me, and I find that my mind has completely frozen. As my eyes shot around frantically, one of them slowly eased his way towards me. What? Trespasser? That's what I should be saying. Just as I was about to yell that, the man I met first cut in. You act as if you're not one of them, but you're all trespassers to me. I mean, including you. Who are you guys? He stops to flash another smile and then speaks. Guests from another world, friends. And now we get the song, and I will be quiet so you can hear it. All right, we are in chapter 1.
そうか。やはりソーアン殿が亡くなられたのか。ここ数ヶ月、店が開かなかったので、よもやとは思っていたが。
まだ信じられないです。この前来た時は元気だったのに。
人間っていうのは短命だからね。ああ見えて、ソーアンも結構な年だったし。今思うと、俺たちを一度帰らせたのも、近いうちに自分が亡くなることを予想してたのかもしれない。
かもしれん。いずれにせよ惜しい方を亡くした。
しけた面すんじゃねえよ。死んじまったもんは仕方ねえだろ。
イグニス、そのような言い方は。
うるせえ。ここでいじけてりゃジジイが墓から這い出してくるなら俺だっていくらでもいじけてやるよ。けどそうじゃねえ。ジジイは死んだ。だったら俺たちが考えるべきはこれからどうするかだ。違うか。
一理ある。相変わらずイグニスは見た目に反して常識的だな。
そうですね。見た目はどう見ても粗暴者なのですが。
見た目についててめえらだけには言われたくねえよ。特にそこの鉄仮面野郎が。
でも実際、イグニスの言う通りだよね。ソーアンが亡くなった以上、このアンシャンテの行く末はどうなるのか。それ次第で俺たちだっていろいろと今後を考えなきゃいけないでしょ。
そうだな。その通りだ。我々がここに来られていたのもソーアン殿の存在あっての。
まあな。どういう経緯であれ一度締め出されちまったら無理に来るってのは薄いってもんだろ。
ということでさ、俺たちの将来を握る人物というか、まずはテーブルの下で頭抱えてるあの子をどうにかしてあげるべきじゃない？
Yay, we're hiding under a table. Woohoo! The fact that these men came out of nowhere through a door that led to nothing, the fact that it felt like their appearances changed the moment I glanced away from them, the fact that they call themselves guests from another world. I just don't know what's going on anymore. Honestly, I just want them to leave me alone until I wake up from this terrible dream. I hold my head in thought, but as if ignoring my pathetic plea, the 4 men I could only see as suspicious trespassers come closer and closer to me.
こいつがジジイの孫娘ってマジかよ。いまいち信じられね
間違いないでしょう。彼女にはソーアンの面影もありますし。
The young man who'd had wings spoke gently, peering into my face.
突然の訪問、失礼しました。けれど私たちは怪しいものではありません。
Really now?
無論だ。ソーアン殿にかけて誓う。我々は決して怪しくなどない。
Ah, he's getting closer.
なぜに一歩下がるのだ。
え。いやもうてめえは黙っとけカヌス。見るからに不審者のてめえが口開くとこれっぽっちも話が進まねえから。
ということで君、変な人たちに囲まれて不安だろうけど、話だけでも聞いてくれるかな。
Why do you keep trying to talk to me as if you aren't one of them? No matter how many times I close my eyes or pinch my cheeks, it doesn't seem like the situation will disappear. I take a deep breath, stand up with caution, and with my eyes half opened, take a look. There's the man I first met, or rather the one that held me unexpectedly. He was a young man who had refined aura to him despite breaking into the cafe. Then the rowdy-looking man glaring at me with the unamused look on his face. And suspicious trespassers. They're all suspicious considering they broke into the cafe. But ignoring that one with the helmet on, they seem to be normal people, perhaps? Still, then what was with how they looked just now? Let me figure out what's going on. You all are guests, right? They seem pretty familiar with the Enchante, and they do seem to know Grandpa. So the answer that leads us up to all is, are you guests to the cafe?
そうだよ。つうか、常連ってやつさ。もともと俺たちはここに入り浸ってたんだからな。
You hang around here?
そうだね。朝から晩まで、おはようからお休みまでって感じかな。
私に関してはいわゆる住み込みでしたから。
Oh, hold on, friends. Okay, sorry, I have deleted the bot. That's actually a bit of a nuisance. But who are these people in the first place? The very first moment I met them, how they looked when they first appeared, when I saw them in that brief moment. The man clad in armor over his entire body. The man had wings on his back. And the wavering flames. The way they looked back then. Everyone, I feel like you all looked much different when you first got here.
私たちが力を行使している際の姿ですか？
ああ、そっか。確かにあの状態って随分と見た目が変わるもんね。俺たちは無意識にやっちゃってるし、ソアンはあまりにも気にしないから、なんだかある意味新鮮な反応だね。
あ？格好うんぬんって。これのことか。
No sooner than he spoke, he transformed as if he were in a movie. Just then, a wind so hot that it made it hard to breathe swept across my face. I nod empathetically, and everything disappears in the next instant.
確かに改めてこれが何かと問われると何と答えればいいのか。我の場合見ての通りに随分と場所を取る。なのでそ ソーアン殿にもよく叱られたものだ。邪魔だぞとな。
おい、しみじみ嬉しそうに語ってるけどよ、現在進行形で邪魔だぞ。
これは言ってしまえば私たちの存在における一つの形。こういうことができる存在というだけで、それ以上でもそれ以下でもありませんよ。
I see.
お、疑問解決。よかったよかった。
Calling them answered is a stretch. I went from I don't get it to I have no idea what's happening. Then, in a spark of curiosity, I ask another question. Okay then, how about you? Are you able to do that too? And as if he didn't expect me to ask that, he looked a bit surprised and then...
君はエッチだな。
What? No, what makes you say that? And so by asking those few questions, I came to the following conclusions. These men were in fact outsiders separated far from the rules of this world. So what or who really are all of you? It seemed ridiculous to have to ask such a question, but I had no other choice but to do so. I reluctantly asked my question, and the men all looked at each other. And with all their different expressions, some that seemed surprised, some that understood.
そうか。やはりソーアン殿からは事情を聞いていなかったか。
The most suspicion was one with the helmet was growing oddly on the inside. Spoke as if he was pushing his chest
では
forward.
改めて自己紹介をさせてもらうとしよう。我の名はカヌス。
Hi, Kanis.
妖精界メリオの騎士だ。ソーアン殿には大変世話になった。
私はイルファド・デ・リエ。
Hello, Fado.
天界カエルの出身の天使ではなく、その法を破り落とされた打天使です。同じくソーアンには世話になりました。彼は実に素晴らしい人でしたよ。
イグニス・カリブン・クルス、
Hello, Ignis.
中海ベスティアの魔獣。
じゃあ最後は俺かな。魔界アスモディアから来たミシェル・アレックス。
Hi, Mizia.
見ての通りとっても強い魔王様。よろしくね。
So we're going to talk about the demon, the knight, fallen angel, of the beast. I think we're going to talk about the knight because he's the most interesting looking one. Let's see what we get. Wait, I can't process what happening. I crouched down with a headache caused by all the strange words and weird introductions. And at least I was able to understand that all these people are absolute weirdos. Out of all those people, if I were to pick who is the strangest of them all... You're Canis, the knight, right?
カヌス・エスパーディ。この度はお悔やみ申し上げる。
Thank you. He looks strange, but he is gentlemanly. Putting that aside, there's a lot of things I'd like to ask.
他ならぬソーアン殿の孫娘のことだ。答えられる話ならばいくらでも答えよう。まず 身長は190センチ。趣味は筋トレやガーデニングなど少々たしなむ。
Sorry. My weight is a secret. Wait. That's not what I wanted to know. Why is your weight a secret? It's such a silly... That's not important. What is important is what is obvious. I want to know why you're dressed like that. In particular, the helmet. Why a helmet? After my short tirade, Canis thinks for a moment and speaks.
なかなかのコーデだと自負している。何か気に障る部分があったのか。
Oh, now I feel bad. Coordinated?
人間界に来た際、ソーアン殿に言われたのだ。お前は目立つから見た目を気にしろ。
And that's why you have that outfit on. Taking another look, from the neck down, he seemed like any other guy in town with a normal shirt and vest. But his neck and was covered by an iron helmet, like one from the Middle Ages. I can't possibly be the only one here who noticed Grandpa's advice had not been applied very well at all. I happened to glance to the side to find the Demon King snickering as if he was reading my mind.
他に何か気になる点はあるだろうか。
It's not that I found another point, just everything about you. The light gleaming from his helmet catches my eye, and it looks almost like flames, but what in the world is that? What's the light coming from your neck?
それはあれだね。CG 的なやつだよ。そこに色も
Excuse me, computer graphics? Dear gosh. I know that's not what it is.
いいからそういうことにしとけ。こっちも説明するのめんどくせえし。
Seriously? It's clearly not normal, though. Well, in any case, I suppose I should be asking about the demon, the angel, or the beast. And I'm gonna eat a conversation heart while I wait for you guys to talk. Hee. What do I do? Heavenly worlds and angels, demon worlds and demonly kings? There are so many things wrong to the point out that I don't know how to react. How much of this is it serious about? How much of this is a joke? As I sit and struggle with what to ask, one of them walks forward towards me.
今は戸惑いばかりでしょうが、一度で理解する必要はありませんよ。こちらも少しずつ説明しますから、私たちのことも、この店のことも。
You're... What is it?
残念ですが不正解です。それでは好感度は上がりませんね。
He's a nerd. This is great. Friendship level?
私は打天使、イルファド・デリエ。呼びにくければイルで結構です。
Il smiles after his explanation. I'm not entirely sure if he's a fallen angel. But there's definitely an otherworldly aura about him that would make me believe so. He carries himself with a poise, and he seems the most normal out of all four of them.
おや、なんと発売日の変更ですか。カウントダウンを心待ちにしていたというのに。
I give an exasperated look at the fallen angel, who gestures to excuse himself as he takes out a smartphone. What are you doing?
発売日の変更通知が届いたので、新作の公式サイトを確認しようかと。
Yes, he's a nerd. I love this.
ですが、お？攻略対象が追加？まさかあのサブキャラにもついに専用ルートが？
He claims to come from another world, yet he just naturally took out a smartphone. On top of that, I really have no idea what he's mumbling about. I guess even if he seems normal, even this guy has something wrong with him. Well, in any case, let's ask about someone else. So how am I supposed to be responding to these earth-shattering self-introductions? Though rigid from shock, I noticed something. That one, the one that calls himself Ignis, was staring at me. He's scary. I could feel his gaze. But looks a little more closely. The print on his t-shirt's pretty cute. Nyan. He. I mean, unable to withstand his gaze anymore, I gather my courage and address him. You're the demon beast, Ignis, right? Did I do something wrong? I don't know why he's staring at me. That's what I thought until he dismisses me with a grunt and looks away. That's not nice. He flips his head to the side after muttering a rude comment. Why do I have to receive this kind of abuse at our first meeting? Well, in any case, let's ask about the last one. I'm losing my voice, guys, so if it comes to a stopping point, we will close down for the night. I appreciate you being here. A demon king, even I realized how dumbfounded I sounded at the words spilling from my lips. The man standing in front of me, Miser. I vaguely remembered him saying something like that the first time he appeared. A major role? You mean that sort of character, like in video games? Oh no. Talking about massacring people with that smile does not seem quite right. No, I'll have no need for that. I do not need to close the gap between us. And so, after a bit of conversation, uh-oh.
はあ？なんでだ？コーヒー飲んだだけで死ぬわけねえだろ。
なんと、当人が知らないとは危険ですね。いいですか、イグニス。犬にコーヒーの料理を与えると。
だから俺を犬扱いすんなってんだよ、この箱入り天使が。
Miser to the Demon King, Conus the Knight, Ill the Fallen Angel, and Ignis the Demon Beast. After their fantasy-ridden introductions, they chatter among themselves. From the looks of them, it didn't seem like they were trying to trick me, or tell me absurd lies about alternate worlds. Right. Even though... I'll try for now. Honestly, I don't even understand half of what you all are talking about. Anyway, none of you are normal people. But to my grandfather, you were important customers, right?
彼がそんな風に思っててくれたら、俺たちはすごくすごく。
I don't know what sort of bond or what sort of time these men and Grandpa spent together, but I couldn't help but notice that Miser's smile was one of melancholy. At that point, Ignis and everyone took a seat nearby and showed me they were ready to have a serious chat with me.
ま、あれだ。この際俺たちのことを信じるかどうかは後回しでいい。それより一つ聞かせろ。てめえはここに何をしに来た？
What? His eyes squinted a bit more. It was silent. His sharp gaze was upon me, scanning every little detail.
そうだ、そうあの孫。てめえの話は俺たちもじじいから何度も聞かされてる。昔はこの店でじじいと住んでたらしいが、最近じゃ仕事が忙しいとかいう理由で、ずいぶん。
そんな君がなぜ今になってここを訪れたのか、そして君がこの場所アンシャンテをどう思うのか、それは俺たちにとっても重要なんだ。
I had a feeling they also guessed as to why the daughter of the shop's owner came after the shop was abandoned for so long, and that this meant the Enchante was at a crossroads.
店を継ぐのか、それとも畳むのかってね。
Miser spoke as if he had read my mind. As if reacting to his somber smile, I hold out the letter towards them. The reason I came here is because of this letter I received from Grandpa. If I die, I leave the shop in your hands. Go there yourself and have a look around. If you feel you don't need it, sell it. If you can't, feel free to make it your own place. And that's what the letter says. I nod. My fingers graze the leaf of the paper as I look towards them again. You're right. I hadn't taken the time to see Grandpa. But it's not because I didn't want to. I love him. He used to take care of me. And if he knew I took advantage of his kindness to escape from my current problems, I'm sure he would have been sad. Right. I didn't want my dear grandpa to hate me for leaving that place. But in the end, his passing is what brought me this letter and brought me here again. The fact that this has all been a trigger for me to escape that place, and that's the truth.
何のことだかさっぱりわからねえが、てめえの言ってるそれはただの想像だろう。ソーアンがそんな細けいことを言う口かよ。バカみてえに笑って。そんで終わりだろ、あいつならよ。
Agnes's words were tinged with sadness. Hearing them, I turned towards the others. Grandpa talked about how important this cafe always was to him. So if there are any secrets to it, I'd like to know every detail. So please, tell me. What exactly is this cafe? What are these alternate worlds? My question made them look at each other. The sound of the shop returned to what it must have been like before we arrived. Silent.
言葉で説明するのは難しい。だが、ここまであなたが見た通りだ。ここは喫茶アンシャンで、異界へつながるゲートがある店。異界の住民たちが訪れる喫茶店。店のマスターであるソーアン殿は、我々のような人外を客として受け入れ、このアンシャンテを営業。
昔からここはそういう場所で本来交わらない世界が交わる店。奏でられたひとときの幻。我々の居場所。
最も小さかった君は覚えてないかもしれないけどね。
Wait, what, did I meet you at some point in the past, Miser?
ほんの短い時間だったからね。覚えてないのも無理はないよ。
If that's the truth, had they already been coming to the cafe when I was still living here as a child? I close my eyes to try and remember. Fragments of images begin to cross my mind, but events buried in my memories of these past 15 years, they begin to surface.
俺が店を開く一番の理由はな、うちに来てくれる奴らがいるからだ。
Of course, these memories are from when I was a child. It's difficult to recall them. But I don't think I've ever considered them that the customers I saw weren't normal human beings. Now that they mention it, I feel something nagging in the back corners of my mind. These still fleeting fragmented memories, slumbering within.
そして遠くから、そう、信じられねえくらい遠くからわざわざこの店に来てくれる客もいる。
That's right. Grandpa was always so cheerful when he would talk about the guests that visit. It didn't matter if they were human or not. I probably just don't remember, but I'm certain Miser and the others would be in these memories. All of these bizarre stories that I'm hearing, I feel like I can believe them all just by recalling the heartfelt words of my grandpa. It's all true, isn't it? About the other worlds, the non-humans, that Grandpa kept this place open for all of you.
まあね。というか、俺たち自身の存在が一番の証拠だと思うんだけどさ。
私も嘘ではないと保証します。私はれっきとした打天使であり、このアンシャンテの居候でしたから。ここはそんな我々にとって最高の喫茶店でした。
だがソーアン殿が亡くなった以上今まで通りとはいかないだろうな。
Canis shakes his head with sullen movements. You all came to the shop from other worlds using that door, right? So what happens if the shop was demolished? If the shop closed down and was demolished, I'm pretty sure the door wouldn't survive.
別に大したことじゃねえ。鍵さえ開いてりゃ勝手に来ることくらいはできる。
The lock?
ゲート、あの扉にプレートがかかっていただろう。
The plate! I assume it's the one that reads opened and closed. Right, I see it. But that's the lock?
不思議なもんでね。うちの鍵はあれなんだよ。そのままの意味だけど、オープンなら扉は開くし、クローズドなら扉は開かない。俺たちとしては、イグニスが言ったように、鍵さえ開いていれば、勝手に出入りもできるんだけどね。けど、たまーに良くないものが出てくる可能性もあるから、基本的にはちゃんと施錠した方がいいね。
What unpleasant things.
世界を滅ぼす系の者たちですね。あとは自分以外の生き物を目にすると容赦なく虐殺するものとか。
That's too dangerous. Grandpa, how could you open a shop without batting an eye with that kind of danger?
ちなみに店舗を潰したら異世界の扉がどうなっちゃうのか心配になるかもしれないけど、そこは心配いらないよ。そもそもゲートは破壊できないからね。それに店舗も俺やイルが術をかけててね。完全じゃないけど店を害する相手が 自然と遠ざかるようには仕向けてあったり
Oh,
する
that's
からさ
good. In other words, it seems the shop eluded demolition due to mysterious power. I see. That's astounding. It does seem rather convenient.
そういうものってだけだよ。意外と知らないだけで不思議なことはその辺に溢れてるもんさ。
But if that's really the case, the shop couldn't ever disappear. Isn't that right?
場所だけはね。けどそこが居心地のいい場所かどうか、それはまた別の問題でしょ。俺たちが望んでいる場所はこの店のアンシャンテのマスターが俺たち人外を快く迎えてくれる場所なんだ。
A place where you feel welcome.
わがままだっていうのは誰よりも俺たちが痛感してるんだけどね。
A silence once again drapes over the cafe as those words were uttered. While I was still searching for what to say, Miser suddenly stands up from his seat.
何せよ急な話なのは理解してるよ。俺たちは少し席を外すからちょっと考えてみて。
Wait, but where are you going?
我々はおのおのがソーアン殿よりアンシャンテの上階を間借りしていてな、久方ぶりということもあるのでそこへ。
You rented rooms?
頻繁にここへ訪れ宿泊することもあったのだが、それぞれ家賃を払って借りていたのだ。
I see. Come to think of it, it clearly did mention he was living in the shop. It's true that I'd yet to see the second floor of the Enchante. I really would have never imagined these non-human guests would be staying up there.
つうか、ジジイが死んだなら、俺たちの部屋どうなってんだ？根こそぎ片付けられたりしてねえよな。
I'm not sure. I haven't been upstairs yet. I don't know if the housing authority or city officials have come to see the property.
それは困ります。
It abruptly stood up.
私の部屋には大事な宝物があるのです。それを留守中に片付けたなどと。こうしてはいられません。一刻も早く無事を確かめなくては。
And with that, Il rushed up the stairs in a huff. I think he might have even flown a bit. What in the world?
ほっとけ。あいつはいつもああなんだよ。
というかここの結界はゆかりのない人よけも兼ねてるし、まあ心配ないとは思うけどね。
んじゃ、俺も部屋行ってくるわ。ガネス、お前も相部屋だし来るだろう。
ああ。とはいえ我々は物が少ない。ついでに簡単な掃除でもしておくか。
As they begin to climb the stairs,
それじゃ君は一度ゆっくり考えてみて。なんならコーヒーでも入れてみたら。
Miser, the last one to leave, winked at me as if he spoke. And after the sounds of their steps faded away, the space around me was hushed in comparison to how it was moments ago. But then, this would have been what the Enchante would have been right now if those men hadn't arrived. People from other worlds, non-humans, come here to this cafe, huh? At first, I was wondering if I should even bother trying to run the cafe at all. Now, as I sit here by myself, I'm beginning to question the very nature of reality. I need to gather my thoughts. Miser was considerate enough to let me have some time alone. Maybe I should go outside and get some air. I look to the horizon. The sun is setting, I take in its light and let out a sigh. The cold begins to grip me as the day ends. I sit on a bench and I go over everything that just happened. I found the door. I met Miser and the others. Canis, Il, and Ignis. And they all claim that they aren't human. All of this easily erasing whatever knowledge of the world I used to hold. Ow! I know it was cliche, but I pinched my cheek to make sure I could still feel it. I did, so that meant this is all real. I pinched my elbow and my hand, but of course the result's the same. Sitting there, I take a breath deeper than the deepest ocean. It seems like every guest Grandpa rented to developed a meaningful friendship with him. Holding this irritable feeling. Ugh. I let out a groan. It was the sound no one would expect to come from someone like me. What do I do? The sunset, it's so pretty. But I can't only escape my reality for so long. As if to try and find an answer, I open the letter from Grandpa once again. To Delhi.
本当はこう SNS 的ななんかでメッセージを残そうと思ったんだが、それじゃ遺言として認められないらしい。だから仕方なく手紙に書いとく。スタンプとか使える方が便利なのにな。
He almost always loved breaking the mold. A bittersweet feeling draws a smile as I bite my lip and read over the letter again. An official will was delivered to my parents, so this is basically just a personal message from grandfather to granddaughter. Most of the content was random chatter. Questions about me eating properly, making sure I was being nice to my parents, and if I was doing okay at the company where I got my job. Things like that. And when Grandpa would come to the house every so often, we had so much fun talking. He was sensitive to how I felt, and never did try to pry much into my daily life. I guess this letter helped him work through all that concern he must have had for me. I'm sorry, Grandpa. It's difficult to talk out loud. But the food supply company where I was hired was infamous for being strict about the work. That became apparent right away when I started my job. The sales department would go door to door selling health products and supplements that were basically scams. As an office worker, I dealt with all the complaints that came from the customers each day and night. They brought me in right out of high school, and even though I barely made the cut, so I forced myself to enter the labor. But after so many days of working there, the ringing of a phone would just trigger me. I can still hear my boss yelling. You can always be replaced. Just do what I say. You have nowhere else to go, do you? No one needs you. I picked you up. You better be grateful. Ooh, those are hard. Is everybody okay after that? You're awesome. You know that, guys? Alright. I was tired and bitter and just wanted to quit. It was at that time when I got Grandpa's letter, which is what I'm looking at right now.
辛かったら逃げてこい。ジジイの道楽で始めた店だが、それがお前の居場所になるならそれでいい。お前の人生だ。お前が自分で決めていいんだ。
Your life is in your hands. You choose to live it exactly how you want. I fold the letter and take a deep breath. There's no one here to guide me now. But still, I really hate that there isn't. I know I just wanted things to be easy. I think of what Grandpa would say, wishing that he were here now. I thought they went to check on their rooms. My face lifts up at the doorbell ringing to see Miser standing there.
俺だけはアンシャンテに泊まったりしてなかったからさ。特に部屋も借りてないし、ただブラブラって店の中うろついてきただけ。まあその代わり毎日欠かさず来店してたけどね。魔王の仕事があるから基本夜には帰っちゃうけど。
Miser smiles, adding he'd continue to come if I were to take over the shop. He then comes to sit down on the bench with me. Oh, I didn't expect that. I'm sure I'm not as bad as ill, but I did imagine that you'd be living here too.
俺ってばそんなに怠惰な感じ？いると一緒とか、ちょっとしょっと。
Ill as a mess? I couldn't see that at all. More importantly, is it okay for you to look like that out here?
大丈夫、大丈夫。魔王様はチートが使えてなんぼですよ。他人の認識いじるなんて、ちゃちゃいなちゃい。
A favorite word of Miser means something so strong seems doubtful. He stretched calmly, saying, "It's a scary fact, and I was wondering how detached from humanity he really was. I mean, look at his clothes. His face, the way he talks, the way he laughs. Maybe he doesn't look that different yet."
というか、まだ考え事の最中だった。提案したくせに邪魔しちゃったらごめん。
Oh, no, it's fine. In all honesty, it was helpful he came to chat. I couldn't help but feel thinking about this on my own would just get me down.
それさ、ソーアンからの手紙。
As he pointed to the letter, I realized I forgot to put it away. Yeah, it is. I was holding it to my chest out of reflex because he was taking me through all those memories and emotions just now. Responding rabidly, he stares at the letter for a moment and then speaks.
ソーアンってさ、辛いもの食べられないの知ってた？唐辛子とかもう全然ダメでさ。
His sudden comment caught me off guard. I never knew. Grandpa always seemed so sprightly.
だよね。キャラじゃないよね。その他にも、実はゴキブリがダメとかさ。
Really? I can't deal with cockroaches either. Miser continued on, speaking kindly of the grandfather I didn't know. Though I'm sure it was tiny bits of things he wanted to say. I could tell these memories were very precious to him.
ソーアンはさ、大雑把な性格の割に上手だったんだよね。コーヒー入れるの。
Yeah, it was only he poured coffee, though, only he might be a bit mean. That he was so intentional and serious. Miser nods in agreement with my comment.
魔王も騎士も打天使も魔獣もこの店にいる限りはただの客。コーヒーを頼んでおやつをつまんでただただそんな時間を楽しむ場所。そういう場所なんだよここは。だからこそ俺たちはこの店がアンシャンテが好きなんだ。
You're not going to ask me, are you? To take over the cafe?
まあ、そうだね。うまく言えないけど、それは違うかなって。そりゃついで欲しいは欲しいけどさ。
Laughing a bit to himself, he stood up, looking satisfied somehow.
とにかくさ、何もかもが君にとっては急すぎるし、決断が難しいのは承知の上だよ。
After I nod in response, he pauses for a moment and then speaks again.
明日の予定は？そうあんに聞いてたけど、確か今の勤め先って東北なんだよね。
Tomorrow? I don't have anything planned. As for work, I don't have anything planned.
そっか。じゃあ明日またここに来てみない？
To Enchante?
そう。もちろん君さえ嫌じゃなければ、せっかく時間があるならいろいろ話してみたくてさ。店を継ぐ継がないは別として、俺は君のことを知りたいし、君に俺のことを知ってほしい。
Miser gave a smile that did not look at all suspicious. It was actually kind of friendly. I haven't been asked a question like that in a while, outside of a family context anyway. I put up my guard and reflex and probed him. And why would you want to do that?
それはもちろん運命の出会いだからなんちゃってね。
Even if it was a joke, he had the guts to mention something as cheesy as destiny, and him saying it with such a carefree smile brought a smile to my face as well. Yes, it's possible that this is destiny, considering it would be impossible for a normal person to meet a demon king.
お、魔王様ってことやっと信じてくれた？
Well, I wouldn't get anywhere if I didn't.
なんだ妥協か。まだ疑わしいって言うなら、もっと説得力ある証拠を見せてあげるよ。
Evidence?
そうだね。例えばロマンチックに、あの太陽を砕いてみせて。この星を跡形もなく滅ぼしてとか。君直々のお願いなら、そのぐらいのことはしてあげるよ。
Dear goodness, please don't break the sun. Is that romantic? His smile scares me, as if to say he would actually go through with that.
まあその件も含めてさ、明日のご来店お待ちしております。なんて本来言うべきは俺じゃないんだけど。
I'll think about it. I'll consider whether or not I'll return. Even if I were to start heading back now, I'd be home around midnight. Considering how dangerous that would be, it might be better if I stay here tonight. But I'm a bit reluctant to stay at the Enchante with all these people I don't even know. For now, I'll let Miser know I'll be leaving to get a hotel for the night.
わかった。じゃあ他のみんなには俺の方から伝えておくよ。
Will everything be okay with the lock?
イルとカヌスがこっちに残るから多分大丈夫。ゲート側の管理も任せておいて。それじゃまた明日。
Right. See you tomorrow. Oh.
どうかした？
Oh no, it's nothing really. I haven't said see you tomorrow to anyone in a long time. It really was nothing. Outside of work, I just didn't seem to live the same way other people did. Miser didn't make me feel weird, and he replied shyly.
俺もだよ。
He smiled with an endless kindness. And it was then I realized it was no longer just considering coming by tomorrow. Once I got to the hotel, the promise I made to see Miser became rather clear. The hotel I was able to find was very nice considering how little it cost. And after taking a shower and changing, I lie down on the bed in the room. I'm so tired. It's definitely due to mental stress. It's time I get to sleep. And I let out a yawn as I reach out to the light by the pillow. No matter how many times I think about it, I really just experienced something insane. Though I no longer thought it was a dream. Still feeling a small morsel of excitement towards visiting the Enchante tomorrow. I close my eyes and I give in to sleep. Should we pause it here? Let's see if it gives us a spot. I'm pushing the button. I hear a voice. And it sounds like a child. Someone crying. Solitude is lonely. My mind was blank. I have no idea where I was or when this was. I've been waiting for you. A person appeared without a sound and stretched out their hand. Their trembling fingers sank into my chest. Literally sank in. And they plunged in, like a hand submerging into water. My heart felt like an alarm going off, and my body shook in pain, unable to breathe. I could feel my consciousness slipping, but there was something more harrowing. Help me. It clung onto me, this unknowing plea ringing in my head. It was so pitiful and so sad. I tried batting away the hand, but I couldn't, no matter how hard I tried. I woke up to the sound of my heavy heartbeat. It took me a moment to realize the space around me was the hotel room that I booked for the evening. I don't remember anything very well, but that definitely felt like a nightmare. In an attempt to dig up memories from it, I grabbed the sides of my head. Just then my alarm went off. I look at the time on the clock. It's already this late. I have to hurry or I'll miss the checkout. I fling myself up from the bed and start to get ready for the day. I rush through checking out and leave the hotel quickly. My feet were moving on their own, making their way towards the Enchante. Though I inadvertently made Miser a promise, I actually began to feel a little excitement to go back again. Alright. We know we're going back. Conversation about things that don't necessarily have to do with the Enchante. Okay. We have it all of a sudden. Let me see if I can get to a way to save it. Oh, we have it all of a sudden, and with that, we're going to see what's the matter next time. I'm going to save, and we're going to move over to just chatting, because there was some heavy themes that we want to make sure everybody's okay with before we sign off for the night. Being trapped and depressed and scared or losing someone are all big things. And big things need time and safety. Please know that you are a good person who can deal with big things and that it's all going to be okay. It might change. Things change. But you're going to be okay. I'll see you on the other side, and I'm very excited to continue playing this game with you guys. Have an amazing night, and hopefully we'll see you one or two more times before the end of the year. Catch you here on Twitch or on TikTok at Delicious D&D, where we try to find feasts in fantasy. See ya! I forgot, we gotta go raid somebody, so let's find somebody to raid. Trying to find something fun. Let's go follow and check out Chef Duche. They're making wontons. See you guys next time. Enjoy the wontons. And thank you for coming to Delicious D&D with me.